Ever since the early philosopher Celsus, there has been a claim that Christianity has been corrupted by its texts. First of all, it's interesting that people kind of give up on disputing the resurrection claim. And so then they move on later to, okay, we can't actually dispute what happened there in the actual events that gave rise to New Covenant Christianity. But we'll go to the texts and show that the texts were corrupted. There are a lot of people down through history, Muhammad did this, of course, a lot of people down through history who have said, well, of course the Bible is reliable except in the form that we actually have it, which has been corrupted. Then there are others who simply say the Bible was translated by so many people and handed down through so many generations that we don't really know what the original text said. Well, the first thing that people have to know, regardless of what they've seen on various guests John Stewart has interviewed, is that people actually working in this field, and I'm not talking about conservative Christians, I'm just talking about people working in historical textual criticism of books like the Bible, there is a consensus that for the most part, with very few exceptions, about 99.9% of what we have when you pick up your English translation of your Bible is what approximates the original documents that were written. How do we know that? Well, first of all, we have the best, earliest evidence for these Gospels and the epistles than you have for Herodotus's writings, or for Thucydides, or for Homer, for sure. We have documents that were written within 20 to 30 years of the events themselves. That's unheard of in terms of historical witness to ancient events. Herodotus and Thucydides would have killed to have that kind of proximity to the events. Furthermore, you have so many copies of these ancient texts that now, especially with computers, you can actually compare the copies, as is often done, and see that the discrepancies are remarkably small and insignificant. Bart Ehrman, for example, and others out there on the road doing the Debunking the Bible Roadshow, constantly use rhetoric that no serious historical critical scholar takes with any more than a grain of salt. Why? Because he says things like, there are hundreds of discrepancies. He doesn't even have the honesty to tell you that every ancient text that we have in English translation has a lot more discrepancies than the Bible has, and the great number, 99.9% of these discrepancies, would be over definite articles or indefinite articles, over a feminine pronoun or a male pronoun, over differences over very minor issues that don't affect the content, the substance, at all. So a lot of people have just been led along by the nose on these questions, and there are terrific answers to these questions if people would just investigate them.